If you're a PMO professional, you know the pressure is on. It's not just about keeping projects on track anymore. It's about proving your worth and showing real, tangible value. Today, we're going to walk through a powerful playbook that helps you do exactly that. Let's dive in. Here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start with the why, then define the what, and then we'll really get into the how. From figuring out where you are right now, all the way to proving your value at the end. All right, let's get right to the heart of it. For way too long, PMOs have been stuck with this label of being a cost center. Our goal? To flip that script and become a value driver the business absolutely can't live without. I want you to take a second and really ask yourself this. It's such a critical question. How does your organization see you? Are you just a necessary expense, or are you seen as a strategic partner that's actually driving success? Honestly, the answer to that question really shapes the entire future of your PMO. And that's the whole game, right there, making this transition. It's about moving beyond just being efficient and starting to create a real, measurable strategic impact. And the key that unlocks all of this is a structured, dedicated focus on service improvement. So we know why this shift is so important. But what in the world is service improvement really? Let's unpack that core concept. At its core, service improvement isn't some one-and-done project. It's a continuous cycle. The source material calls it a value-generating PMO flywheel, which is a perfect way to think about it. The idea is you're constantly assessing, planning, and reviewing, building momentum that delivers more and more value over time. And this cycle, this flywheel, is fueled by some really specific actions. It's a mix of looking inward, digging into your data, and looking outward by getting feedback from your customers and seeing how you stack up against industry standards. This lets you make smart calls, not just about refining or adding services, but also having the guts to retire the ones that just aren't working anymore. Okay, theory is great, but let's get practical. How do you actually get started? Well, the very first step is to get brutally honest about where your PMO is right now. You can't draw a map to your destination if you don't know where you're starting from, right? Now, here is a super important distinction that a lot of people miss. An organizational model looks at the whole company, but a PMO service maturity model, that's different. It zooms way in on each individual service your PMO offers. For this job, it's the precision tool you absolutely need. So, once you have that baseline assessment done, it is time to build your plan. This is where you take all that data and turn it into a strategic roadmap that's actually going to guide your PMO's evolution. This first phase is a really logical three-step process. First, you assess to get that baseline. Second, you analyze the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And finally, you turn all that analysis into a formal service improvement roadmap with goals you can actually measure. Oh, and here's a huge piece of advice. While you're building that big roadmap, always be on the lookout for quick wins. Those fast improvements that give you noticeable benefits with just a little bit of effort. Nailing a few of those early on is the best way to build momentum and show some immediate value. Okay, you've got a plan in hand. Now for the fun part, action. This is the dynamic phase where you implement, you listen, you learn, and you build a culture of constant refinement. Phase 2 is all about execution. You roll out the changes with a dedicated team. But, and this is so important, you also build in strong feedback loops so you can learn as you go. Finally, you make sure there's a smooth handover to daily operations. That completes the cycle and adds even more energy to that value-generating flywheel we talked about. So you've done the work, you've improved your services, but this cycle isn't truly complete until you prove it. This last step is all about measuring your progress and showing everyone the tangible value you've created. And to put this into practice, the source material actually provides a fantastic self-assessment tool. It gives you a way to score your PMO's effectiveness and apply these ideas directly to your own work right now. Here's a little peek at the scoring guide. It gives you a really clear interpretation of your results, from critical all the way to excellent. Think of it as a tangible benchmark that helps you understand where you are now and pinpoints exactly where you need to focus next. And this brings us to the ultimate takeaway, the big idea behind all of this. Improving your services is the method, but delivering value is the goal. The true measure of your success isn't just being efficient, it's the tangible strategic impact your PMO has on the entire organization. So the only question left is, how are you going to prove yours?